Hi friends, I'm Jennifer Scott and welcome back to my channel, J Scott Beauty. Well, I'm sure you saw the title and you were like, yeah, there's a million videos about Hyram and his new line, Selfless. Well, you know what? I'm gonna put in my 2 cents. And to be clear, my 2 cents is not going to be shady, mean, or rude. It's all about how I experienced his line, all 5 products, the good, the bad, and the meh, okay. So if you're interested in my 2 cents, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and let's get this show on the road. All right, let's face it. If you don't know who Hyram is, you've been living under a rock. He has dominated the skincare scene over the past almost 2 years now. I first found him, I remember exactly when, to be honest with you. I first found him in November of 2019. At that point, he had around 50-some thousand subscribers, and I was like, how did I not know this guy existed? And I immediately fell in love with him. He is sweet, he is sincere, he is charming, he has a heart of gold, and honestly, that poor boy has been through it. So he speaks the truth, and it comes from a place of a really good heart. Now, if you don't know his story, go to his channel, go through some of his videos, learn about, what he's been through in his life, what he has done, how he has brought himself to the place he is right now. It is incredibly impressive. I could blather on and on about what a sweet, great, smart, intelligent, funny guy he is. But honestly, if you know Hyram, you know that. And if you don't know him, go over to his channel and find out. So if you've ever watched Hyram, there's something he says in pretty much every video. And that quote is, "Ingredients don't lie, bitch." And he's right about that. So today we're going to take a look at his 5 products, some of the ingredients, and see how we feel about them. I know how I feel about them. Have you been trying? Did you buy the whole line like I did? I actually showed up at my local Sephora on launch day, literally 10 minutes before the store opened. There were a few cute girls outside waiting to go in, and I thought to myself, yeah, they're here to get Hyram's products too. And as luck would have it, they were such sweet, beautiful girls. One of the girls, Anna, when I told her that I had a channel, was like, I'm gonna follow you right now, and she did. Thank you so much for following, Anna. That sweet young girl and her friends had the most gorgeous skin. It hadn't been ruined yet by life. And when Anna asked me if she should get the retinol serum, I was like, sweetie, you are young. She's probably around 15, 16 years old. There's no need for retinol at that age. So I told her to save the money. Don't spend it on the retinol right now. She doesn't need that until she's in her 20s. All right, so let's talk just a little bit about the whole Selfless line. So as you may know, Hyram's motivation for this launch of Selfless was to spark social change. In one of Hyram's videos from a few months ago, he actually talked about what he studied in college, and it actually has to do with making social change. What is with this bug? So that's been a mission of his for years, even though he's not that old, but it's where he comes from. It's his motivation. It's how he thinks of himself and how he sees the world around him. And you cannot fault someone who is trying to make a difference in this world. Now, I have a ton of notes here, so I'm just going to read from them so that I get out exactly what I want you to know in case you don't. Every product purchase helps promote clean drinking water or protect tropical forests from deforestation. Fantastic. So Hyram, through his Selfless product line with the Inky list, had a 12-month target. They wanted to protect 2,500 acres from deforestation and save over 370,000 tons of carbon. Amazing. What happened so far? Well, according to the website, between June 21st and June 26th, just 6 days, so everyone who made a purchase contributed to saving 63,412 acres from deforestation. They wanted to save 2,500 acres in 12 months. They saved 63,000 acres in a week. So the group that he's working with is the Rainforest Trust. They're currently focused on a rainforest in eastern Bolivia. I'm going to butcher the name, but I believe it's Bajo Paragua. So the Rainforest Trust works with a local partner in eastern Bolivia. They train, equip, and deploy patrols and fire brigades to protect the rainforest and the local community. I mean, that is really on the ground, hands-on work, making real change. The other partner that Hyram is working with is the Thirst Project. Currently worldwide, there are 780 million people who do not have access to clean drinking water. How spoiled are we? We turn on the water to brush our teeth and we just let it run. These people don't have clean drinking water at all. Well, luckily, the Thirst Project provides communities with sustainable clean water supplies by building local water wells and providing them with the skills required to maintain them. Here again, making actual change on the ground to help people help themselves. I don't know about you, but I think this stuff matters. And you know what? Hyram may not be changing the entire world, but he's making a way bigger difference than most of us. Well, me. So if you purchase these products, now you know why they cost a little more than what Inky List products normally cost. I mean, most Inky List products aren't higher than $14.99. I think that's their ceiling. These products go from $20 to almost $30. But you know what? You didn't have to go to Bolivia. You didn't have to dig a well. You just bought some products for your face and you helped out. And good on you for doing that. All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. I want to go through this as quick as I can because honestly, if you were really interested, you could go to his website and read all about it. It's totally worth it. You know me, I love reading boxes, ingredients, reviews. Maybe you don't. But in this case, you may want to go to his website and read. There's so much to learn on the site. I was really impressed by the amount of information that they put out. But you know me, I love that kind of stuff. Let's begin with the boxes. You know how I feel about packaging that isn't just packaging. Yep, it's informative. It's going to tell you all sorts of cool stuff on the inside. Read it. Some of my favorite callouts are on the outside of the box. Our Selfless Standard, transparent, sustainable sourcing, climate conscious, and packaging impact. And under each of those, it gives you like the specifics. My favorite is under packaging impact. Our packs are made from carbon neutral sugarcane bioplastic and are fully recyclable. No packaging solution is perfect, but we aim to leave the least impact possible. I love that because as I mentioned in my last video, I think it was, I buy lots of products and I hate putting things in the trash. I so appreciate it when I'm able to recycle packaging, and this whole line is completely recyclable, and that makes me so happy. All right, so when you buy something, make sure you open it and learn something, and then recycle it. All right, let's talk about my experience with the products. So first off, we have the Retinol and Rainbow Algae. This is $30 for 1 ounce. Basically, it's for targeting post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So when you have a breakout and you have like that dark spot left behind, this is gonna help with that. Cool. It has 2% encapsulated retinol, 2% tranexamic acid, and 4% squalane. All those are great ingredients. Now, the 2% encapsulated retinol. We can have a whole discussion about that, but basically, encapsulated retinol is very, very gentle retinol. Anyone can use it. All right, let me just say this about the entire line. It is perfect for anyone with sensitive skin or those just starting out, you know, their skincare journey, whether you're a teenager or whether you're 80 years old. If you don't really have a skincare routine, you don't know where to start, these 5 products are a perfect place to start. Now, like I said, if you're a teenager, you really don't need retinol yet. If you do get this, it's not going to do much damage. It's probably not going to do that much for helping with the aging process because it's an encapsulated retinol. That is a super gentle way to receive retinol in your skin. It's kind of like a slow time release process. And because of that, it takes a long time to really see any results. So honestly, I'm only gonna recommend this if you are super duper sensitive to retinols or you are just starting out. It's a great place to start out. It's $30, so it's a little bit pricey. Now, here's the texture. It's kind of runny, so it is serum-y-like, which is fine. I don't care, you know, whatever's gonna get the job done. It feels very silky. Now, that's a ton. That's probably as much as you would need for 2 or 3 days. So you don't need to use a ton of any of these products. A little bit'll do you. But you can see this has a very nice kind of serum-y, watery feeling. It's really lovely. I didn't have any issues with it, except I'm used to stronger retinols. So for me, it didn't really do anything. So I think I will just pass this along to people that I know who are either sensitive or just starting out on their skincare journey. And next up, we have the salicylic acid and sea kelp. So this again, 1 ounce, and it was $24. Now, if you've paid any attention, you know that I love salicylic acid. I use a 2% formula every day. My skin clogs easily. This here is only 0.5%, so it is incredibly gentle. And for me, that didn't work at all. It actually made my skin to start clogging up again. My skin needs the full 2% to keep my pores unclogged, free and clear and smooth. And I don't know if you can tell right now, but I have some clogged pores going on. I actually think I need to probably see an esthetician, get a facial, get these like cleared up so I can start from scratch again. But this is not for me. Here again, it is for anyone who needs something gentle, someone who is just starting out. Now it also has 5% niacinamide in it, and that is supposed to help with any future breakouts. 5% is actually the ideal percentage for my skin. I've tried 12%, I've tried 5%. 5% works great on me for everyday use. So I wouldn't need to use another niacinamide. This would be just fine. But because the amount of salicylic acid is so little in here, this didn't work out for me. Now, as you can see, again, this is a very, very watery. You only need a few drops. I actually was using a lot so that I could really try and keep my skin the way I like it, and it just wasn't working for me. It was just too gentle. Let's face it, at this age, my skin has been through it. It doesn't want any pussyfooting around, it wants the big guns. And unfortunately, this really isn't a big gun. All right, now on to the niacinamide and maracuja. So this here has 5% niacinamide, again, perfect for me, and 1% maracuja. It's 1.7 ounces for $26, which is a good value. He actually talked about this as your moisturizer. And as you can see, it is very light. And for me, I had two different thoughts about this. The first one was, I didn't like the way it felt when it dried down. It left a very tacky feeling the first night, and my face was kind of sticking to my pillow, and that I can't have. So thereafter, I was putting on another moisture on top of it every night, and that worked fine. So I was still getting my niacinamide. Now maracuja is a very like healing and nourishing ingredient. Now my skin's microbiome was perfectly intact. I wasn't having any irritation issues whatsoever at the time. So using maracuja wasn't that important for me. And I honestly didn't find this to be that nourishing. This isn't something that I would use for an everyday, moisturizer, lotion, anything like that. For me, I don't really have a need for a product like this. It didn't do much. Oh, and did I mention they made it very clear on the packaging with a sun and a moon when you can use the product. So this can be used day and night. The salicylic acid says daytime. The retinol has a moon for evening. That's another great feature for this line, especially for beginners. Sometimes you just don't know when you should be using the products. And just to have a freaking sun and moon on here so you know what time of the day you can use it, super helpful. Why doesn't everybody do that? All right, now the mandelic acid with rice bran. Again, 1 ounce, $24. So here's the thing with this. I love exfoliators. Like, I love, love, love them. Not only does this have mandelic acid in it, but it has PHA in it. So mandelic acid is probably, I think it's one of the largest molecules for exfoliators, which means it's actually going to exfoliate very, very gently. You get no irritation whatsoever from using mandelic acid, but you do get a slow, gentle exfoliation, which is so great. If you're just starting out with an exfoliation routine, you want to go gentle, because the last thing you want to do is go straight in with glycolic acid, because your face is not going to be happy. You want to build up, starting with something like mandelic acid. And this is so light and so gentle. And the rice bran helps with brightening your skin. So overall, you're going to have a really nice experience with this. Now here again, I'm several steps up from using mandelic acid. I rarely use mandelic acid. As a matter of fact, I pretty much only use it on my neck and my décolleté whenever I feel like I want to have a little gentle exfoliation. It doesn't give me any irritation whatsoever. Now here again, let me show you. See, this is very watery. It feels lovely. It melts into your skin very easily. And I had absolutely no irritation. And I also didn't feel like I was really exfoliating either, because I use glycolic acid twice a week. I'm used to using stronger AHAs. So for me, this was just not doing anything. It was a nice experience, but it really didn't do anything for my skin. Oh, and it has 0.5% of salicylic acid in it too. So you could be using salicylic acid more than once in your routine, which is fine at 0.5%, but for me, still not enough. All right, last but not least, for me, this is the star of the line. This is the Centella and Green Tea Daily Gel Cleanser. I liked this very much because it is gentle, 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 gentle. So here we go. There's your gel cleanser. You only need that much. You use so little of it. I love how it felt on my skin. It got my skin clean. My skin did not feel dry or tight or any of the negative things that you can sometimes get from cleansers. My skin felt completely clean and basically neutral. Like I didn't feel it. I didn't notice anything going on with it. It felt clean. And isn't that all we want from a cleanser? So at $20 for 5 ounces, I actually think this is kind of a good deal. So the claim of this cleanser is that it's a hydrating, deep clean that's good for all skin types, and that it's pH balanced between 5.5 and 5.7. So very neutral. Now, I forgot to mention at the beginning of this, I used these products every day for 2 weeks straight, just like I did with the Inky List. I really wanted to see how they were working, if they were making any changes in my skin. And for me, the only changes that I really found were that my pores were starting to get clogged, and that's because of the salicylic acid, or the lack thereof. Now, I of course read through the ingredient list because, like Hyram says, ingredients don't lie, bitch. And something that I found in this ingredient list here really struck me. So, phenoxyethanol, when you see it on an ingredient list, that ingredient can't be any higher than 1% concentration. So that means wherever you see phenoxyethanol, everything below it is either at 1% or less. And below it was citric acid, and then after citric acid was the Asiatica centella. Interesting. And here's why. The citric acid, usually Hyram hates any sort of the citric or fruit acids. He's not a big fan of them because he says they can cause irritation, but yet it was in here. Now, it's under 1%, so maybe it was just in here for scent, and because this is a wash-off product, he was fine with it, or maybe it had an actual reason for being in here for an active reason. But the fact that the Centella Asiatica was after the citric acid, and that's actually what this is named, this is Centella and green tea, that I thought was really strange. However, here's what we need to understand. We are not cosmetic chemists. We don't know the concentrations that are appropriate to be in products. That's the takeaway here. I'm not a cosmetic chemist. I'm not a dermatologist. I'm not an esthetician. What I am is curious. And staying curious is what helps me along my skincare journey and should help you also. I've learned by trial and error some ingredients that are great for my skin. Hello, salicylic acid. And some ingredients that are terrible for my skin. Hello, vitamin C. And that's the thing with skincare. It is super personal. What works for me does not work for my friends. What works for my friends does not work for me. So when I tell you that this line was almost too gentle for my skin, don't take that advice and think to yourself, well, it's going to be too gentle for my skin. You never know unless you try. Oh my God, stop. That's the thing about skincare. It's trial and error because it's personal. Now, do I hate any of these products? Nope, not in the least. Do I think they're great for anyone just starting out or anyone who has very sensitive skin? Yes, yes, yes. Now, if there are some ingredients in here that you have never tried before, maybe you've never had Centella Asiatica, you might like this cleanser. Maybe you've never used mandelic acid or want to use an acid on your chest or your neck, this might be worth trying. That's what I love about skincare. You can always try something new to see how it's going to work for you. And if it doesn't work, give it to a friend. That's what I do. Right, Caitlin? And even though, for the most part, these didn't work for me, I'm going to pass them along to friends who will also give them a try and see how they work for them. But for me, the bigger picture is the consciousness with which this line was made. Everything is recyclable. Portions of the proceeds go to support efforts to protect deforestation and to help people receive clean drinking water. So even if these didn't work for me, I did a teeny, tiny, eensy, weensy thing to help others. Worth it. All right, so tell me, have you bought anything from Selfless by Hyram? Are you loving anything? Are you repurchasing anything? Are you passing it on? Or have you decided to use things differently? Like maybe use the retinol on your hands. It's gentle and it won't irritate. I would love to hear your thoughts about Selfless, so please leave them in the comments below. And if you are not familiar with Hyram, get on it, girl. Get over on his page, start looking at some of his videos and learn. He's got a lot to tell you. Stop it. All right, well, I think I need to wrap up because this little girl keeps giving me little woofs, letting me know she wants to play. So from Dottie and I, we want to thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you real soon.